Respite for consumers as electricity workers agree to suspend strike. INEC says e-transmission of results has come to stay and is set to partner with Media Trust Group on issue-based politicking. Emirates suspend all Nigerian flights over $85 million blocked funds. And on the foreign and UN Chief Antonio Guterres to meet Zelensky and Erdogan in Lviv as 6 killed renewed Russian shelling of Kharkiv. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Nten Ekpang. Electricity workers have agreed to resume work after intervention of Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngige. The minister had set up a tripartite committee to resolve the grievances of the electricity workers after an emergency meeting in Abuja. Workers had earlier shut down power installations in the country to demand payment of arrears to workers of the defunct Power Holding Company of Nigeria and improved conditions of service. The action of the workers has left consumers in darkness. In Kaduna, members of the National Union of Electricity Employees NUEE picketed Mando Transmission Station, which supplies electricity to Kaduna, Kebbi, Sokoto and Zamfara states. And similarly, the Abuja distribution firm attributed absence of power supply to industrial disputes between workers and Transmission Company of Nigeria, the TCN. Kano Electricity Distribution Company has told its customers in Katsina and Jigawa states that disruption of supply followed withdrawal of services by the electricity employees. An energy consultant, Olabode Sumomi, speaks on the industrial disputes.
I thank the Honorable Minister and the Minister of State for Power for their maturity in handling these issues that were brought up. Yes, these issues could have been tackled earlier on if there was the rightful communication with all parties. But well, as we have said, we've been given 2 weeks to which to report back to the full House. Well, we assured the nation that such crisis will be nipped in the bud before it escalates.
So you have industry people who are workers like any other set of workers who feel that the financial entitlements that they have is not satisfactory. You only have to negotiate with them. And if indeed those financial entitlements are not satisfactory, then there's an issue. Because we need to understand that there's an illiquidity in the sector, which means that the sector itself does not have enough money to take care of itself and keep oiling itself, which is why a lot of times government has had to intervene. So there are certain fundamentals that need to be taken into place. Is that the sector must be first made liquid. And to make it liquid, we're talking about people stopping theft. So because when you have a neighbor who has bypassed the meter, he's not necessarily intelligent, he's circumventing the system because somebody is going to pay anyway. You understand? It costs something to get there, and if they don't get it back. So that's another thing. Then there is the issue.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, on Wednesday promised that the results of the 2023 general elections will be transmitted electronically. Speaking on Wednesday in Abuja, when he hosted a delegation of Media Trust Group on election debate, Yakubu said the transmission of election results from the polling units would be a permanent feature in the nation's electoral processes. INEC says it will support and partner the Media Trust Group to deepen issue-based politicking ahead of the 2023 elections. Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Leader of the Media Trust Group's Election Debate Committee, Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, says the essence of the visit is to seek the support and participation of the electoral management body in its consistent drive in promoting issue-based politics in Nigeria.
We are planning a number of specific interventions that relate to making the campaign the central fulcrum around which issues will emerge, on which voters will take their decisions of which parties and which candidates to support.
Responding to the request, INEC National Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu applauded the initiative, which he says is in line with the Commission's desire to entrench an issue-based politics in the nation's democratic environment.
We welcome your involvement in election debate, precisely because of what Dr. Ibrahim said, the question of issue-based politics, which is central to electoral democracy.
The chairman of the electoral management body appreciated the Trust media platforms for what he described as objective and professional coverage of the Commission and the overall electoral process.
We appreciate the Trust for your objective and professional coverage of INEC and our activities, but also of the electoral process generally. I think I should put it on record, appreciation to the Trust.
There was a robust closed-door engagement between the two parties on contemporary and emerging threats to Nigeria's electoral democracy. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The All Progressives Congress APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday visited former President Olusegun Obasanjo as part of consultations for his presidential bid. It was received by Governor Dapo Abiodun and his deputy Noye Mosalako Oyodele and former governors Olusegun Oshoba, Benga Daniel and other APC bigwigs who were already on ground before his arrival. The former Lagos State Governor immediately went straight into a closed-door meeting with Obasanjo at the penthouse residence within the OOPL. The former Lagos Governor's planned visit, according to insider sources, is to rally Obasanjo's support for his presidential bid. Obasanjo, who had vowed not to endorse any candidate in a hurry, has kept his choice in the next election close to his chest. The Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, has criticized the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, describing his recent claims and actions over the $418 million Paris Fund as fraudulent and self-serving. Speaking to newsmen after a meeting, Chairman of the Forum said the Forum will take every constitutional and legal means to ensure that the purported consultancies are fully litigated by the Supreme Court. The NGF chairman insisted that there is no liability in the state and only the courts can determine if the NGF states are indeed liable. The forum has set up a committee comprising the chairman, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, and Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State to interface with the committee set up by the President to review the matter. The Minister of Justice had days to go and stated that the governors had no basis to reject the proposed deductions of $418 million from the Paris Club Fund because they had been indemnified and considered that such payments be made to the consultants. The cost of carrying out the forensic audit of contracts awarded in the Niger Delta region continues to rise as the Federal Executive Council approved an additional 765.97 million naira for the project. Minister of the Niger Delta revealed these to newsmen at the State House Abuja after the weekly meeting of the cabinet. The amount, he said, will cover the additional works done by the forensic auditors. Kehinde Amodu reports.
For the forensic audit, a lead consultant was appointed to work with 16 other field auditors at a total contract sum of 1.786 billion naira. The project has since been concluded, but in the course of carrying out the work, the auditors had to deal with many more projects than were initially envisaged.
The exercise also took an additional 7 months. The total number of additional projects considered by the auditors was 3,773. So for reasons of the additional number of projects and the additional time taken, Council today approved a revised additional sum of 764,974,975 naira 50 kobo.
Meanwhile, another project which has accrued additional cost is the compensation and resettlement of communities affected by the construction of the 700 megawatt Zungeru hydroelectric power project.
The total sum of 2,740,000,000 naira, which will revise the subsisting amount from 19,640,000,000 naira to 22,380,000,000 naira.
Nigerians are concerned about the dip in power supply in recent times, despite promises made by the power minister that the country would be able to generate and maintain 5,000 megawatts of power from the 1st of July.
We've gone very far with that, and I believe it's for that reason that we're able to reach up to 4,600 as of yesterday. In the morning, this morning, it dropped to 4,100. So this is what is happening. You will be experiencing this fluctuation due to all these issues around gas to power, because gas is not something that we control directly. You have to pay them. You have to pay gas. They will not give you gas until you pay. So we are looking at ways to solve that issue. It is the reason why we are unable to reach that 5,000 we promised you by July 1st of this year.
Minister of Information Lai Mohammed is also addressing the issue of the growing inflation rate in the country. The minister gave assurances that government was trying to find its domestic means of stemming inflation. A solution to the global phenomenon varied from government to government. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has summoned officials of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development over the 18.9 billion naira contract awarded for land preparation, bush clearing, and others during the COVID-19 lockdown. Chairman of the committee, Wole Oke, PDP Osun, disclosed this at the resumed investigative hearing of the committee with ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government based on audit queries by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. OK said the committee will carry out diligent investigation to find out the location of the project and their importance to the country. Meanwhile, the committee has ordered the Corporate Affairs Commission, the CAC, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FRSC, to furnish it with the details of the companies involved in the contract. Now, Kaduna State government has said that troops of Operation Forest Sanity in the early hours of Tuesday carried out a raid in the Kuriga and Manini communities of Chikun local government area and rescued 6 people. The Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Amiel Arowan, in a statement on Wednesday, said the troops made contact and engaged the bandits at the suspected enclave. He said after clearing the camp, the troops rescued 6 kidnapped persons who were held at the location. The rescued persons had been safely reunited with their families. The Commissioner further stated that the Kaduna State government had conveyed its appreciation to the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, the General Officer commanding 1 division of the Nigerian Army, and the Director General of the Department of State Services for the ongoing wave of onslaught against criminal enclaves. Bauchi Police Command has again warned against acts capable of breaching. We'll move to the next story. Emina Chief Magistrate Court in Niger State has on Wednesday transferred the rape case against the 48-year-old assistant head teacher of the Central Primary School, Karabonde, in New Busa of Bogu local government area of Niger State, Usman Galadima, to the New Busa Magistrate Court for fresh trial. Magistrate Ibrahim Musa Zargo, in his ruling, said the fact that the offences were committed in New Busa, about 350 kilometers where parties and witnesses reside, the case should be transferred to the right jurisdiction for hearing. Citing difficulties, the witnesses will go through traveling a distance from the New Busa to Mina to testify against him. Reacting to the development, the Permanent Secretary, Niger State Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development and Secretary, Gender-Based Violence Management Committee, Khartoum Daoud Arafai, said the state government will not relent until justice is served.
We already have a law in place. The VAP law, that is Violence Against People Prohibition Law, is in place, which has been signed by His Excellency and even gazetted. So at least the law is going to take its course. Since the case has been taken up by the government, is now a government case, even if the victims are not ready to go further, we are ready to go further. And as the committee is, the chair of the committee is Her Excellency. She's not going to leave any stone unturned to see that justice is served. And we are going to do whatever. We have lawyers that are pro bono, that do pro bono services for us, and we have other lawyers from Ministry of Justice. We have a gender desk office at Ministry of Justice, which is going to take over the case. So whatever it will take us to see that this case is concluded logically, we'll do our best.
You're watching News Update coming to you on Trust TV. After the break, all train routes that defies the odds. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. A recap of our major stories. Respite for consumers as electricity workers agree to suspend strike. And INEC says e-transmission of election results has come to stay and is set to partner the Media Trust Group on issue-based politicking. To other stories now, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, have arrested the MD and CEO of Marvel Rock Pharmaceuticals and Stores Limited, or Akwechi Buike Celestine, for engaging in sales of illicit and controlled drugs on popular e-commerce platform GG.ng. A graduate of business administration from the University of Abuja, Orakwe registered the pharmaceutical company on the 16th of December 2014 with a certificate and support of a licensed pharmacist who opted out of the deal in 2017. A statement from the Director of Media and Advocacy of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, said the suspect continued running the business and enrolled it on GG.ng platform in 2019. The suspect was arrested with some quantities of tramadol and Swifnol brand of Rifnol on Monday, 8th August at a drink joint in Jabi area of Abuja, where he had gone to make some supplies of the orders made through his online channel on gg.ng. Now, train shuttle services between Kano and Nguru local government area of Yobe State have continuously sustained centuries-old trade and commercial relations with the ancient city. Now, however, over the years, this major trade route appears to be dying due to lack of maintenance of the locomotives, now operating 3 times a week. In this special report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin travels to the northeastern town of Nguru to examine what remains of the once important train station in northern Nigeria. The report.
After waiting for several hours to witness the arrival of the last remaining train to Guru station from Kano, bad news arrives that the train will not be coming today for operational challenges. It's the problem of diesel that led to the suspension. But before then, we are running regularly. Although disappointed, but not as much as the owner of these goods, who now has to resort to what he called the hard and most expensive way to get his goods to Kano.
The train is fine, as they told us, but there is the problem of diesel. That is why we had to use this truck to transport our goods to Kano.
Guru Rail Station was constructed in 1930 by the colonial administrators, initially transporting agricultural produce to the southern part of the country for exports to the United Kingdom. Many years after the Nigeria's independence, train from Guru maintained local running across many parts of the country, effectively creating jobs and boosting the economy.
This train station is important to us. It used to carry people and goods from Guru to Kano and to other parts of Nigeria, and it also creating jobs for our people. This is an old train station that is used to be called Guru Terminus, from where we transport livestock, agricultural produce, granite, and so on to several countries of the world.
Some 30 years ago, this place is considered as a hub of trading activities. Train from different parts of the country do come here on daily basis. As of today, there is only one train coming here from Kano and going back to Kano from this place. And even that train, authorities are telling us, does not belong to Unguru Station. It was borrowed from Mina, Niger State. Now, as of today, there is only few coaches existing in this place. The station is almost gone. There is nothing remained here. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
Emirates Airlines has announced the suspension of its flights from Nigeria with effect from September 1, 2022. In a statement on Thursday morning, Emirates said it will stop all its flights to Nigeria to limit further losses and impact on its operational costs that continue to accumulate in the market, adding that it might re-evaluate its decision if there is no positive development in the coming days. It will be recalled that the airline had in a leaked letter to the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, said it will reduce its frequencies in Nigeria from 11 to 7 by mid-August over a strapped $85 million in Nigeria. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan in Ukraine on Thursday, with grain exports and concerns about the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant to top the agenda. This comes as Turkey's defense ministry said one more ship carrying grain has left Ukraine's port, bringing the total number of vessels to leave Ukraine's Black Sea port under UN-brokered grain export deal to 25. Meanwhile, one person died and 18 were wounded on Thursday in pre-dawn shelling of a residential area in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. On Wednesday, 6 people died and another 16 were wounded in a Russian rocket attack on the city. And with that, we conclude news update this hour. For more, connect with us on all our social media platforms. I am Nten Ekpan. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.